key role of the Director of Client Service is rather extensive. It looks into the overall operations of the agency. So by my standards, I have the 4 key pillars of McCann's that I'm required to look into, and that would be the profit aspect, the people, the partnership, and the product. These are the 4 areas, and the Client Service Director is essentially responsible for ensuring that the 4 pillars are well managed. We'll talk a little bit about the pillars. We'll start off with the product. Essentially, we have to ensure that our products and offerings are of the right quality and standards. And if they are not, then it is the responsibility of the Director of Client Service to ensure that they are improved or they are corrected. And when we are talking about the products, it can go from an account servicing aspect, or it can even get into a creative product. But essentially it would be most of the products, and not most, but all of the products and services that the agency actually offers to its clients. A little bit about partnerships. Partnerships are important because clients, of course, form the basis of the agency. And we have to ensure that the relationships are kept going on a very healthy level. We have to ensure that the client's expectations, requirements, and needs are looked into, and where they are weak, we have to improve them. That's primarily my responsibility. Clients talk to me if there are problems. Of course, I like to see it as if there are any positive comments about the agency, the clients will also talk to me about it. In terms of profitability, we need to do regular forecast of our revenues for the year, and we have to ensure that in terms of the forecast, we meet them. And I would share the revenue tabulations with the team to ensure that we're on track, and if we're not, then I would have to highlight the areas where we're not on track and which teams then have to compensate for the revenues which are not quite up to par. The 4th aspect of it will be our people. I have to ensure that we hire the right people. We have to get in good talents of quality, and we have to ensure that they progress as the agency progresses. So in terms of their progress, we have to ensure that they have the right KPIs. We monitor their performance, and also in terms of reviews. We do regular reviews with our talents to ensure that their weaknesses are corrected and their strengths are recognized. This would be the key areas of my role as the CSD of the agency. When I was in school, actually in university, I was doing law, so I'm a lawyer by profession. What happened after that was that when I came back to Malaysia, I had some friends who were in advertising, and I found it to be interesting because the nature of the profession is rather fluid. Things change, they are regularly mobile, and they're not always stuck in the office. I like the idea of them having to go meet clients and have relationships with their clients, not only within the confines of the office but outside as well. So when I told my dad that I wanted to do advertising, he fell off his chair, of course, after spending all that money. But nevertheless, I pursued it. I went into it because of a couple of reasons. I had reasons why I wanted to do it apart from having seen what my friends did. One was the fact that I was reasonably articulate. Not terribly, but reasonably articulate. And I felt that I could communicate ideas and be conversant on strategies and about topics of different natures. And I felt that that was a strength that I could actually use, because this was a business of communication. And it always dealt with having to talk to people. The second aspect is from my training as a lawyer, and when I was in university, what we were required to do was to have a lot of analysis and to have a lot of observations done on different case studies. That allowed me to actually distill a lot of information and then translate them into workable solutions. And I felt that these were the things that perhaps the account management person would do apart from just running errands for the clients, which I don't believe in actually. I took these along and went into advertising and hoping to make a change. And I felt that yes, there was certainly an opportunity for me there to establish stronger relationships between people and things. And as a result, I found my calling. But what I need to say here is that we need to have very strong, grounded reasons why we want to come into the industry. My reasons were that, and that carried me forward. But I felt that they were valid, and 15 years later, I'm still here. So that must say quite a bit about what I feel about the business. One of the things that I felt about my experiences in advertising was to be able to walk into a presentation knowing your strategy and knowing that you have a great creative product, and coming out of the presentation after you've impressed all the clients and then feel that you've actually nailed the presentation. The best part about it is that when your clients are happy with the presentation, they are convinced that we're on the right direction, and finally even having to even winning the presentation and when the results come out, that would be something that's truly gratifying, and I get a lot out of it when it comes to that experience. The second thing about having inspiring moments is about the people that I meet in the business. I've listened to a lot of great advertising people talk, and some of my most inspirational moments have actually come from Yasmin Ahmad, the late Yasmin Ahmad. And I think she was powerful in the sense that she really understood the people aspect of the business, how she understood consumers and how she looked into anthropology and how she understood how people thought and how people behaved and translated that into great advertising. Some of the advertising greats that I've listened to talk would be also Kartik Siva, for example, and even Zain Khan. I think they were very, very strategic in their own right. They understood brands, and today they are one of the best people to listen to when they have seminars and workshops. So they would comprise of some of the things that inspire me most. The third one would actually be about just myself and how on days which I can take off and on vacation, I would be sitting at the beach and looking out into the ocean, and I think, well, I mean, if you're in comfortable surroundings, and then I realized that that alone is inspiring. Why? Because I've worked myself to a position where I can afford it. And being in this business does not mean that you need to slave and not make the money. And being able to sit on a beach and look out into the ocean amidst plush and lush surroundings, that would be something inspirational to me, and it tells me why I'm here and why I'm still here. There is not one, but I think it's constantly evolving. The challenging aspects of this business is ongoing because a lot of things are very, very fluid in this industry. I think it applies a lot to businesses in general, but if you look at how the economy is today and how consumers are today, it's constantly evolving and nothing is ever static or status quo. I think the most challenging aspect of our business is to be able to adapt to constant change. But apart from just being adapting and to adapt to change, I think we need to get ahead of the curve and to actually realize what these changes mean for the future and what it means for our client businesses, and that the important thing is to identify the opportunities within change. That's the most challenging aspect of this business, for me at least. I always feel that the business is about a certain degree of casualness. You see people in, well, not suits and ties, but you see people in very casual clothing coming in but doing great stuff. And then you see the account management people, and we call them the suits because they're always dressed like that. I think what I want to point out there is that there is a certain aspect of fun in how you can punctuate the monotony of a white-collar profession and introduce the creative product, which makes it very exciting and makes it new and innovative every day. So it's not just a white-collar profession, and you're not just confined to the office, but you're constantly being exposed to new ideas, new creativity and new innovations that makes it really, really exciting. The other aspect of it would, of course, be being able to talk to different people And these would be marketing directors, being able to talk to business leaders and entrepreneurs. And the greatest thrill about it is for them to actually listen to what you have to say and actually take your views and take your opinions about the business. That's something that makes me truly happy as well, because you feel that you're ultimately contributing into something bigger. People are always talking about passion. Every time I sit in for an interview with potential candidates for the business, you always talk about passion in the business. But I'd like for all of you to think about what you really feel passionate about the business. Passion is not just about enjoying the TV commercials that you watch on a daily basis or having seen one print ad in a newspaper. Passion is about really taking the effort to understand what this business is all about. Talk to people, find out the demands about this business, what it takes to be a super suit or what it takes to be a brilliant creative person. You need to understand that, and that's not enough just to say that you enjoy watching TV or you enjoy watching TV commercials. That's not enough. I think you need to go into the fundamentals of it and ask yourself, what is it that you're enjoying? Is it the creation of the TV commercial? Why is it being created that way? The thought behind it? These are all the questions that you have to ask. And ask yourself if there is sufficient resilience that you have to get through this business and not flake out within 3 months. Do you have that resilience? Do you have the enthusiasm? And do you have that patience to actually drive yourself through that hard first 3 years of your life where it will be hell on earth? Now, let me just stress that it's not a party, and it will never be a party, and that's the biggest misconception about advertising, or sorry, the right word would be communications and engagement for today. The biggest misconception about this industry is that it's all about pretty girls and guys, it's all about parties and drugs. Nothing of that sort will ever happen. It's hard work, it's resilience, it's intelligence, and it's not bag carriers running around doing the client's bidding. Those are all myths, and I think we need to get the reality right. So if you have the passion, find out what that passion is, come to interviews telling your interviewer or telling your potential employer that you understand the business and what is it about the business that makes you tick as a person. And then I believe you have a chance of getting in and making something of yourself.